Alright. AEW All Out. Um, yeah, so this show happened. By the time you're watching this, it would have been 3 weeks removed. So let's just get out of the way. I really like this show. Like, um, like I don't like. I really confused how to describe it because it's like it wasn't like it wasn't. There really wasn't one thing about the show that I found like overly like spectacular, but like there was a lot of things to enjoy on this show, and I think like compared to like All In, like this was a much better pace show in terms of letting things as it is. Like for as much as I like All In, I think the problem was they were it was kind of rushy in some areas, like like the opener of in the last pay-per-view, like they were doing they did the entrances on the pre-show, and as the show started, all the guys that were competing in the match just had the entrances show on the pre-show. They were already in the ring, so they were like rushing, like getting through some things. But here they took their things, and I think that made a much better, enjoyable show than All In. But as much as I like All In, I like this show slightly better. The opener, you have MJF versus Daniel Garcia. Good match. He, I was really curious to how MJF will really give a guy like a Daniel Garcia in this, because this is like a big match for Daniel Garcia. Like, he is facing a former AEW World Champion and one of the top guys in the company, and this is and he had to deliver, and especially apparently his contract ends next month in October, so it's not like the contract he's running out of. It's not like he is running out, because he may not even be with the company in by the time you're seeing this video in a few weeks. So who knows what's going to. But this is a big match that this was a big match. There was a little pressure on Garcia to deliver, because like if he could like deliver in some way against a top guy like MJ, that could go a long way. Who knows? And I thought he did in most aspects. Like, I think the kickouts were a little upsetting, and they kinda ran too long for my liking in some ways. Besides that, it was still a fairly good match, and the finish was kinda like I guess you were trying to protect both guys, but the execution would look pretty bad. Like the execution of that crucifix finish could have been done a little bit better, guys. And I don't know, like I know he's not. We don't know if he's resigned yet, but like maybe Garcia should all win this, man. Especially since they did the pile driver, which they were hitching on it, like what she was going to do it for the top rope, and then he doesn't do it. That ends up costing him the match, and he still did it anyway after the match. So yeah, I feel like Daniel Garcia maybe should have won this match. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, good match that was kind of ruined by a crappy finish and post match that really made you feel like maybe that should have been the end of that match. And also MJF, was going to be alright because he's apparently filming another movie. So he's filming a movie. So yeah, so I don't know what's the purpose of MJF really, even if 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 they clearly for sure know that Daniel Garcia is not resigning. Because yeah, maybe a little poor judgment of that decision. Just my opinion. So yeah, that's my thought. The next tag team match is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks versus the Blackpool Combat Club with Claudio Castagnoli and Rita Guerrero. No, this was a decent match. I didn't find it overly spectacular. It's just I just couldn't find to care about the Young Bucks gimmick nowadays. I kinda talked about it in my all-in review, but it's like I just couldn't get fully invested in these matches because the Young Bucks gimmick of EVP have already lost on me, like 4 months ago. And they haven't really done much until now to defend their titles. So yeah, it's hard to invest these matches, and you kind of know they were winning anyway, so it's hard to care about. It isn't like the match was like bad, but yeah, like this, like the Young Bucks with it, and I just went, okay, like whatever. So like it's kind of hard to like really get into. So yeah, but the match it's decent. Well, we finally get to the really good stuff on the show. The AEW International Championship, Will Ospreay defending against Pac, another member of the seemingly honorary member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And wow. Wow. Like I said the all in, I think you know what you're gonna get with Will Ospreay. Like he really works hard in every match he's in. And I think that's the one thing you gotta admire about him. No matter what you think about him as a wrestler, one thing I could give a credit is that he always tries to work hard in every match he's in. So that's gotta get. So you know what you're gonna get rid of it. But Pac hasn't really like had that match that really made you think, oh wow, like that, like it's like we all know he's a great wrestler, but he hasn't really lately shown what he's really capable of in a very long while. So yeah, when you have and And the way those guys wrestle, the chemistry they have, it was obvious they have it. Like this was an insane match. Like this was crazy. Like the way that this guy like the way they choreograph, they cooperate their moves timely, correctly. Like this was a awesome match. Like they really, like you can tell they really fucking gelled together in the ring. And when you get that, you gonna expect an amazing match, and that's exactly what this was. Like Will Ospreay retains, and apparently they're gonna build up Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, which yeah, that should be a wash because but I don't know if that match could top what we saw during this match. Like that was great stuff. You had Mr. High Flying Baseball, Ghost Ride, and just great wrestling. Like they just let these dudes go out there and wrestle. That's what makes it great. But the funny ironic thing was, as much as this match probably is my slightly match of the night, it was the women's street fight that was every bit as good and every bit as great as that match was. You got Will Nightingale with Krista and the Chicago street fight. Like, you know, when you get it to the pay-per-view time like this, and this is a combination, it feels like it's not about like the maximum time. It's not about the time that you give. It's about the time and how to maximize and resources into it, and maximize whatever time you give in a match. And these two ladies did. Like this kick ass on so many levels. And like I think with AEW and the one adventure they have with like WWE, with when WWE be a PG product, they will shy away from this. Like this is the one thing. Like this is what makes for many people AEW alternative. Like when you can do a match like this, you can get a little vibe, you can get extreme, you can do some off the wall stuff, and these two ladies deliver on in some aspects. Like yeah, like these two ladies, like you can tell they really wanted to deliver the goods on this, and this was the match that exceeded a lot of expectation, because it's not like people were like overly that excited, because they really haven't been featured that much to really get people excited. But these two managed to put a lot of people on, and including me, and they deliver a great match. So Chris, that I don't want, but this is one of those matches that are like, it reminds me of like WWF, like No Mercy in like 1999, where like Edge and Christy and the Hardy Boys, their first ever live. Like, it might be of that in a sense of you really didn't have much expectation coming in, but this match will age you so much fondly in the years to come because of what the people in the match deliver. Like, you okay, back then, like Edge and Chris to the heart of the ladder match. You didn't really, but they really shocked you with the the moves that they and the how they really innovated stuff. This could be because women don't get a lot of matches like this, especially in street fights like this. They really don't get to do much stuff like that, but these two ladies did, and I'm proud of both Kristen and Will Niger for their performance. Just great stuff. Next you get is the fatal four-way for the Continental Championship. You had Kazuchika Okada defending against Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita. This was kind of like the cool down match slightly after those two really awesome matches. And this was kind of cooling that, but this was good. And the crowd in most of I think they were into the stuff with Okada and Takeshita. They were really into those two guys specifically because they kind of want to see them. I think that would be a really good match really soon if they could do that. So yeah, and I think the crowd kind of told Tony Khan that Takeshita could be a really big baby face. Like they were into everything he did. So yeah, so they kind of not have to much longer fight against the Great when it comes to Takeshita, when it comes to crowd reaction. Yes. When you listen to the crowd, they were into a lot of stuff that Takeshita did. So yeah. So it's a pretty fun, good match without overly too crazy. And Takeshita retains the Continental Championship. Next up for the TBS Championship, you got Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. Oh boy. The things that you could describe this match is odd, kind of surreal, odd, awkward, surreal, and not in a very good way. Like I think they were trying to do too much stuff in a short amount of time to build this feel up, and it just didn't work for me. And here's the thing, and I know some people are gonna say oh, this was so much better than Mercedes and Britt Baker for All In. But let's look at it this way. Mercedes Moné, Kaya Reigns, and Shii Ray against Shida. This is how you violate both of these. This is how you violate Mercedes, one of the best in this generation. And just because it might be slightly better than Mercedes versus Britt at All In, doesn't really kind of mean as much. Mercedes versus Britt at All In was just horribly bad. If that match could be a step or two be above that match, it could still be this was a mediocre to borderline bad match, and that's exactly what this was. This was sloppy. This was awkward. this was kind of slow moving. Yes, in some way, it was kind of better than Mercedes vs. Bray at all that. But why the fuck it wouldn't be? That match was just so bad on many levels. And like, and this is how you compare to the portion that I matched it to try to justify this might be other than surreal, awkward, mediocre to borderline bad. Like, okay, you can kind of see like they were trying stuff in the early parts, but as a much later it got slow, it was sloppy. They were uncoordinated some aspects during it. Like, nice try, but it just didn't work. So, and like, how is like, I don't know, like banning like Camille from this match where she only paired with Mercedes doesn't mean much when you pair these two up for like at this point about 2 months. So yeah, it doesn't really mean as much. But yeah, this was another disappointment match that was only slightly a step or two above Mercedes vs. Bray at all. So yeah, so Mercedes everything, and yeah, like Mercedes needs to get a hot story and a hot match to really get her career at AEW on track. It's like, this has been some rough matches to sit through as a Mercedes fan. So yeah, Ryan Danielson in his first AEW World Championship defense against Jack Perry. You know, they ain't mind too much. I wasn't too crazy about Jack Perry being in this spot like this, going up against Bryan Danielson in a world title match. But with a 2-week build, to a pay-per-view, you gotta have someone for Bryan to defend it and be against. So I guess Jack Perry was the guy to do it, and to be fair, he was kind of built up. A bit nicely coming in. So yeah, so a world title match between him and the champion Bryan Danielson wasn't too bad, baby, and the match was pretty good. Was really good. It was really good actually. Like they took the time, but they slowly built this stuff in. It got really good at the end, and like, I like the finish of Jack Perry being defiant and not trying to defend too much for Danielson shit, and Danielson hit like not one, not two, but 3 Busaku knees. One of them after Jack Perry flips him off like this, and Bryan Danielson finishes him off with a Busaku knee. 1 through 3 to retain the AEW World Championship. So, in the match itself, also the one reason they remind is like, I always feel like whatever match Danielson was going to be like, was going to be kind of filler compared to what happened after. So, Christian attempted to cash in his world title contract, only to be stopped by the Blackpool Commander, and the way that they built it, the way how they drawn out this angle, like, you knew this was just to build up a swerve. Like they were just building to that one bit. As soon as they were all in with ring with dance, I'm like, oh shit, Brian's gonna get fucked. And he was. Pretty vicious way. Like, Moxley was just choking on it with plastic bag on his face. Like, wow, like, this was a crazy angle. Like, and the way, like, Judo was crying for help, like, he didn't know what to feel about what we just witnessed. Like, I must have said the acting for most of the competitors were really well done. And like the angle itself was really well done. I think with this Jon Moxley new character, this newly heelish side of Jon Moxley, I think this was like messy from him, like in the past couple of years, like, and I think about he hasn't gotten much real direction that he could really sink his teeth in. And you can tell in the early parts of this year, and even late last year, like he was going through the motions in some ways. So hopefully this angle, this new character he's going to be having, is gonna rejuvenate him as a performer and a character. So this was top notch. Although like Brian Danielson is like almost half dead by this point. Why wouldn't Christian just catch him after they just beat him up? That was just silly in that aspect. But the whole time, as like I said, was really good, and the angle was a well executed angle for my. So the main events, a lights out unsanctioned steel cage match. Hangman the Page versus Sir Strickland. Easily, probably, arguably the best feud in AEW history. I put this match, if you watch my top wrestling matches in 2020, I put their match at Full Gear 2023 as one of my favorites of that year. Just how they mentioned they deliver on the hardcore, the brutality, and the intense level in that match when it comes to their story. Like, this has been like that was an insane match, and they I think with this match, with all the crazy shit they done, so all throughout all this feud, I think it was gonna be really hard to top what those two guys did in the Full Gear match last year, their Texas Death match. I think it was gonna be hard to top that. And plus with a cage involved, like, it was kind of going to limit somewhat what these guys could do. Besides all of that, I still think this was still among like the crazy shit they've done, even with the characters more like amplified on crazy shit. Like Hangman has gone pretty much psychotic, and Swerve pretty much being like almost gone crazy because Hangman just literally burned his fucking childhood house 3 days before this. So the match, it was still like, so it was like the match compared to Forget is tame, but this was still like a really, really good, really like a really good, a strong main event for this show, and they still deliver some great stuff. They had to get kind of creative with this, and these guys like really do some pretty sick bumps on it, like the power bomb to like the ring to like from the cage was crazy. He has to send the bar, so they would do all kinds of stuff like that, and they have to, because that was with the nature of this rivalry. You kind of have to deliver all stuff. And this, and they deliver in that aspect, and the finish was pretty much insane. I don't care too much about the needle spot to the mouth, and I think like I think like what I would have done, I would have hit like Swerve, like if with him, I would have him hit on Swerve with a knee multiple times in the head, and then like the crazy ending with a big ass steel chair shot to the head. Like that was insane. That was like pretty much the most insane part. All that matters is why we got to the end of Heyman just decimating him with a vicious steel chair shot to the head, and the match ends like that. Heyman just knocking out Swerve Strickland, and the end of the show was Heyman looking down, visibly going psychotic, like he's jumping for joy, but in a much more sinister and scarier way of how a several events. So that's how they end, and that was an amazing shot. And so the match was strong, and I think this was done more to advance this new character, Hangman adaptation. This gonna be a bold take, but when you look like AEW Pacific, Hangman Adam Page is the greatest character in the history of AEW. The way his arc has been pretty much told throughout these 5 years, pretty much been so top-notch shit. Like, the way he could be sympathetic to people and make people really, really feel bad through him when he was in his world title journey to now people being almost turned away from him, be frightened by his actions because of what this feud with Swerve has done to him mentally. Like, even though Swerve has still did some bad things throughout this field, but you almost feel turned off still by what has Heyman has become, and that shot of him going like ballistic and being joyful, being almost scarier. Like that was pretty much for how he just gone so psychotic. And I think this new character is going to, and this new character of it has been pretty top notch. Has been really awesome to see the progression of how he been descended to madness. Basically, that was great. So yeah, this was a really good main event to close out this show. And this was a pretty strong, really, really good show. A lot of things, like I said, a lot of things to like about this show. So, there's that for my All Out review. Like this video if you haven't. Subscribe what you thought about All Out in the comments. Subscribe. Tell me what you thought about All Out. Excuse me, the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Maenius, and I approve this message.